NASA's live stream went silent. What they saw changes everything. It was supposed to be just another sky scan. A deep space telescope quietly sweeping the stars from its post above the Pacific. Scientists monitored the data like they always do. Then something showed up. An object. Fast, strange, close. Seconds later, NASA's live stream went dark. No announcement, no error message, just silence. And not long after the footage vanished, gone from servers, archives, backups, as if it had never existed. Then came a voice we trust. Physicist Brian Cox stepped forward. His words were clear and chilling. This might rewrite everything we thought we knew about deep space. The object was later named Oumuamua, a reference to the mysterious interstellar visitor Oumuamua seen in 2017. But this one didn't just fly by. It stopped, it turned, it sent a signal made of prime numbers, the kind of code intelligent civilizations might use to say, "We're here." Then something even stranger happened. The Voyager probe, launched in the 1970s, not built to receive or send messages like this, responded. It sent a return signal. Encrypted, organized, not noise. This isn't science fiction. It's happening. Cox isn't calling this contact, he's calling it something else. Judgment. If you're reading this, you're part of the story now. Unraveling the anomaly is just beginning. What we thought we knew about the universe, well, it may never be the same. Every answer leads to more questions, and honestly the world is watching and waiting for what comes next. So what makes Oumuamua different? Let's break it down. The object didn't act like a comet or asteroid. At first it looked similar, long, narrow, spinning slowly, but then came the anomaly. It changed direction, it slowed down, it stopped right there in space. That doesn't happen naturally. No visible engines, no tail, no outgassing, just movement, intentional movement. Cox called it non-ballistic motion, the kind of movement that only happens when something is being steered. NASA's deep space antennas picked up micro-vibrations from the object, rhythmic, not random, possibly some form of internal system running. Alongside those vibrations came odd heat patterns not from the sun. They pulsed, suggesting the object might be regulating its temperature, maybe even hiding. And this wasn't just quiet, it was controlled, clean, purposeful. This wasn't a chunk of rock, this was a message, and then, like a switch was flipped. NASA shut everything down. No data, no explanations. Observatories stopped updating logs. Servers went offline. That's when people really started to ask, what are we not being told? A pattern is emerging. This isn't the first anomaly, but it's the first that feels like a response. Signals have been dismissed before. Glitches, solar noise. But now, with this object parked in geosynchronous orbit, hovering silently above Earth, something feels different. Not passing by, not moving on, staying and maybe watching. We've crossed a line not of discovery but of recognition. The sky hasn't changed. The stars are still where they've always been. But the silence now, it feels like someone or something is listening and we just triggered a reply. It might follow rules, just not ours. Maybe it's not breaking the laws of physics, maybe it's following rules we simply haven't discovered yet. But just as the mystery deepened, something else happened. Right before NASA cut the feed, a pattern, not static, not interference. Pulses timed, measured, deliberate light signals beamed from Oumuamua straight toward Earth's atmosphere. At first, they looked like random flickers, maybe sunlight bouncing off its surface. But then a sequence emerged. 1, 3, 5, 7, 11. Prime numbers. In the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, this is huge. Prime numbers are seen as the universal language patterns any intelligent life form would recognize. Math doesn't change across galaxies. Carl Sagan once said, if we ever received a message from beyond, it would start with primes. And just before everything went black, that's exactly what Earth received. A message in the silence. What's more, it wasn't just one telescope that caught it. Independent observatories in Chile and South Africa reported the same thing. A beam of light aimed not at deep space, but at us. Instruments detected electromagnetic pulses. Magnetometers picked up vibrations in Earth's upper atmosphere. No damage, no threat, just presence. It felt less like contact and more like a ping, a test, a handshake, and then silence. Right as the pulse reached Earth, the live stream crashed. Not gradually, instantly, the footage vanished. Servers wiped, access restricted. It was as if someone didn't want the world to see what came next. An unnamed researcher later admitted, it's not what we saw that unnerved us, it's what we felt. It felt deliberate. Sometimes the truth is hidden in plain sight. There are moments when questions are met with silence and evidence seems to just disappear. It's almost as if someone or something doesn't want us to know what's really going on. A familiar shape from the past. If Oumuamua seems familiar, there's a reason. Back in 2017, scientists tracking the skies from Hawaii spotted something equally strange. They named it Oumuamua, Hawaiian, for a messenger from afar arriving first. It wasn't from our solar system. It moved fast, spun oddly, and reflected light in unnatural ways. Even more bizarre, it accelerated on its own. No gravity assist, no collision, just motion, like something was guiding it. Harvard's Avi stunned the scientific world when he proposed it could be a light sail, a kind of alien technology using solar radiation to steer. But before it could be studied further, Oumuamua was gone, out of range and out of reach. But this time it stayed. Oumuamua is eerily similar, same shape, same spin, same enigma. But unlike Oumuamua, this one didn't fly past. It paused, it changed course, it looked back, and just before the signal, it pulsed light toward Earth in a mathematical rhythm. This isn't just a coincidence. Some believe Oumuamua isn't a visitor at all, but something more subtle. A probe, a sensor, a watcher. Maybe it was waiting for something, some condition to be met. Maybe we just triggered it. Brian Cox has a new theory. Now leading physicists like Brian Cox are hinting at a new possibility. This might not be first contact. It might be first reaction, not a ship, not a threat, a test. And if we just passed it, what happens next? Are we being watched? It might not be sending messages, it might not even be moving, the signs were there all along, we just didn't see them. You know, it may have started decades ago, but honestly, we just weren't looking in the right places. Back in 1973, a Soviet mission called Venera 12 picked up this strange magnetic pulse while it was hidden behind Venus. The thing is, it lasted less than a second. Scientists at the time blamed solar interference and, well, moved on. But today, that exact pulse pattern actually echoes part of what we detected on April 7th. Then, in 1989, NASA's Galileo spacecraft flew past an asteroid and, get this, watched its reflectivity shift abruptly, almost as if the surface itself changed mid-flight. Just another curiosity, filed away and forgotten. Then in 2003, Cassini recorded a sudden fleeting inversion of Saturn's magnetic poles. It lasted just 0.7 seconds. They said it was an instrument glitch. But Oumuamua's pulse was 0.72 seconds. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe we've actually been seeing the same signal in disguise again and again for years. The pattern was hiding in plain sight. As physicist Brian Cox put it, when identical anomalies show up in different places across decades, it's not randomness. It's something we never bothered to look for. The unsettling truth is, we weren't being ignored. We were being watched, tested, and now, something suggests we've triggered the final switch. Not with a transmission, but by finally noticing the pattern. Because what came next wasn't just strange, it was new. It wasn't a signal. It wasn't Voyager. It was Earth that moved. A shift in our planet's orbit was detected. Subtle, but real. As if, something massive had adjusted itself nearby. And then, the impossible happened. Oumuamua, which we thought was just drifting, locked itself into geosynchronous orbit. It stopped above Earth's magnetic equator, and stayed. No asteroid does that. No comet lingers silently in one place. Now scientists are saying what they weren't allowed to before. This isn't contact, it's evaluation. We're not just being observed, we're being judged. If Oumuamua is part of a system and that system is now awake, this might no longer be a scientific puzzle. It might be a test of whether we belong. Maybe the signal has already been sent. Maybe the decision is already being made. And what's most chilling, this isn't a first contact moment, it's a final review. Something above us isn't curious, it isn't reaching out. It's deciding, and the silence feels different now. The sky looks the same, the stars haven't changed. But when you really stop and listen, you realize the quiet isn't empty. It's waiting, still silent, watching. Oumuamua remains in place, hovering in geosynchronous orbit, perfectly still. And now subtle signs are surfacing from below. Monitoring stations in Brazil, Ghana, and Indonesia have detected unusual shifts in atmospheric pressure. Brief vertical disturbances, narrowly focused, all aligned directly beneath where the object rests in the sky. What does it mean? No one knows for sure. But something seems to be passing between space and our atmosphere in short bursts, then retreating. Is it observing, sampling, deploying? We don't have explanations, only speculation. And then came the silence, but not from the stars. From the people who used to explain them. Scientists have gone quiet, live feeds have gone dark. Research projects suddenly paused without notice. It's not just space keeping secrets now, it's the ones who once searched it. Which raises the deeper question, what if Oumuamua isn't just an object, but a device? not a traveler, a sensor, not discovered by us, but watching us long before we noticed. Something changed, from Voyager's strange transmission to the unexplained shift in Earth's magnetic field. Something feels different. Brian Cox said it best. We may have passed a threshold, and what lies beyond that point may not be curiosity but judgment. The silence isn't empty. It's deliberate, measured, and maybe calculating. If this is a test, we may already be scored because the sky hasn't changed, but how it watches us might have. The quiet overhead now feels like an observation deck, and we're at the center. So stay aware, keep asking questions, don't look away, and remember, the most unsettling revelations don't begin with a sound. They begin when we finally